The controversy of social media regulation. Before I even brushed my teeth this morning, I checked my phone. Within just a few minutes, I had seen news stories, political opinions, advertisements, and videos from people I have never met. Most of us probably did something similar without even thinking about it. Social media has become one of the main ways people communicate and get information, which is why the debate over regulating it has become so controversial. According to the US Surgeon General, up to 95% of teenagers use social media. With so many people relying on these platforms every day, questions about what should and should not be allowed online have become increasingly important. As a criminal justice student, I have studied issues involving government policy, constitutional rights, and public safety. While researching this topic, I found strong arguments on both sides of the debate. Today, I will discuss the arguments supporting social media regulation, the arguments opposing it, and why the debate remains unresolved. People who support social media regulation argue that it can help reduce misinformation. Information spreads quickly online, but false information spreads even faster. One example occurred during COVID-19 pandemic when misleading claims about vaccines, treatments, and the virus itself were shared billions of times across social media platforms. Supporters of regulation argue that false information can influence important decisions and create confusion, especially during emergencies. Because of this, they believe stronger oversight could help ensure that information shared online is more accurate and reliable. Supporters also argue that regulation could make social media safer for users. Problems such as cyberbullying, harassment, scam, and harmful content continue to affect millions of people. Young users are often considered especially vulnerable because they spend significant amount of time online. The U.S. Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy, has warned that excessive social media has use may negatively affect the mental health of adolescents, including increased risk of anxiety and depression. Supporters believe social media companies should be held more accountable for the content of their platforms and take greater responsibility for protecting users. On the other hand, many people oppose increased regulation of social media. One of their biggest concerns is freedom of speech. Social media has become a place where people can share opinions, discuss current events, and express ideas with a large audience. Critics argue that government involvement deciding what content is acceptable could limit free expression. According to legal scholar Lawrence Jacobs, efforts to regulate misinformation must be carefully balanced with constitutional protections for free speech. Opponents believe that protecting free speech is important, even when people disagree with opinions others have shared. Opponents are also concerned about censorship. Determining what qualifies as misinformation is not always straightforward. People often have different opinions about what information is accurate, misleading, or harmful. Critics worry that giving governments or social media companies more authority to remove content could result in legitimate viewpoints being restricted. Some point to countries with strict internet regulations as examples of how government control over online communication can limit public discussion and access to information. One reason this debate continues is that there is no simple solution. Social media platforms change quickly, and laws often struggle to keep up with new technology. At the same time, policymakers must balance two competing priorities. Supporters want stronger protections against harmful content and misinformation, while opponents want to protect free speech and prevent censorship. Because both concerns are important, finding a solution has proven difficult. In conclusion, social media regulation remains a controversial issue because there are strong arguments on both sides. Supporters believe regulation can help reduce misinformation and create a safer online environment. Opponents believe it could threaten freedom of expression and give too much control over public discussion. Whether social media is eventually regulated more heavily or not, it will continue to influence how we communicate, learn about current events, and form opinions. The next time you open your phone and start scrolling, think about how much information you consume online and who should decide what content appears there. Thank you.